please don't put the work on the buyer to book your Calendly link. Do not end your email with like, if you're interested, book time in my calendar around my time. You're putting the work on me. Just say, when are you available, and make it happen.
No one is ever going to respond. I never respond after 3.
Everybody gets annoying phone calls and emails every hour that pisses them off, but they never remember who the company is. When you make your next attempt, you're just gonna reply to your original email. You're just gonna say, any thoughts? Did you miss this? Just bumping this back up in your inbox. That has an even, sometimes a higher performance than the first email.
This guy? That's Mark Roberge. Need a resume? All right, how's this? Co-founder of Stage 2 Capital, senior lecturer at Harvard Business School, founding CRO of HubSpot. He's written the playbook to scaling billion-dollar sales teams.
Yeah, this is Rip. Do whatever you want. One of the topics we discuss at Harvard Business School and in the sales class is, there's a prospect out there that's a perfect fit for your product, your business. But how do you get their attention? Like we teach a lot about how to navigate the sales process, but how do you even earn the right to start the sales process? By booking a meeting. And there's this cool thing I do is I say, okay, everybody stand up. I'm gonna start yelling out numbers, starting with 1. And sit down when I reach a number where that's the outreach attempt that you're gonna stop and give up, right? So like an outreach counts as like if you call them and leave a voicemail and send an email, that's 2 outreaches, okay? So get everyone to stand up and I say, okay, 1, and like 10% of the students sit down. And I say 2, and like another 10%. For whatever reason, 4 is like a magic. I would say by the time I get to 4 outreaches, more than half the students have sat down. And then I'm like challenging the ones that you're still staring. And I'm like 5, and they start getting uncomfortable. 6, and then I'm like 10, and like 2 students are still up. And I'm like, dude, 10? Matthew, what are you gonna do with like 10? All the students are laughing at them. Like, what are you gonna do for 10 attempts? What would your number be though, by the way, Matthew?
Mine would probably be, it would be 4.
Okay, cool. So like at 4, you start to get uncomfortable. Like, I don't want to annoy this person, right? So we're like sitting there making fun of the students. And then I'll bring up like Sam Nelson helps me teach this class. And I'm like, okay, what's the research say, Sam? You've done this for like thousands of companies. He's like, 17. The research says that 17 outreaches, that 17 attempts is the optimal number to balance persistence with scalability.
No way.
It's crazy, right? So the first question what's the first question that goes through your mind when you hear that?
When I hear 17?
Yes, that I'm going to advise you to reach out 17 times to a potential customer.
Like, no one is ever going to respond. I never respond after 3.
Right.
Who's responding after 17?
Believe it or not, like 25 to 30% of the meetings are booked after halfway through. And we can investigate that. I know I'm sure there's some data out there that we can look at, but that would be my anecdotal guess there. So they're still booking meetings. Wow. In fact, the last outreach, it's called like the breakup email or the Hail Mary email. That one has a remarkable response rate. It's basically like, hey, Matthew, I've been trying you for 3 weeks now. I'm going to go ahead and assume that like creating demand for your business is no longer a priority. Give me a call if you ever change your mind. That one has like a remarkable response rate, even though you're 3 weeks in. The other thing that comes up, Matthew, is founders are very worried that you're going to piss off the market, right? It's like,
that's what I'd be afraid of.
Right. And like there's never been research that's shown that. Like, I mean, okay, you've had annoying calls and emails in the last 2 days.
Yes.
Who are they from? Exactly. You don't know.
I remember.
That's the whole thing. Is like everybody gets annoying phone calls and emails every hour that pisses them off, but they never remember who the company is. So it's like there is upside to it. You are going to book meetings even on attempt 14, 15, 16, 17. People are not going to get upset. There's like, I've never seen anyone at a conference be like, hey, by the way, like we're in the market for a new like email marketing tool. Which one do you recommend? Like, oh, I'd go with this one. Definitely don't talk to these guys. They do annoying voicemails all the time. That just never happened, right? So let's unpack that for a second of like that's the next question I have of the students. Like, what the heck are you even talking about? And so it's a mix of outreaches. There's a whole bunch of Some people call them sequences. Some people call them cadences. The bottom line is you've got to be a lot more persistent than you think when you're devising the prospecting plan for your teams. And it's actually a game that balances scalability with personalization. And those two goals are at odds with each other, right? So like, let's talk about the two ends of that spectrum. The optimal scalability tactic would be, here's a script, like here's an email, one email, here's a script. Just send that email and read that script every single time. You can do like 1,000 a day. You're not gonna get any responses. The ultimate personalization is, okay, research this person for an entire day and send a perfect email to them. Write a poem for them, right? You get some responses, but like that level of personalization and research is not justified. And so one of the kind of sciences to executing a great outbound campaign is to maximize the impact of personalization, like the time invested to create that performance output, but preserve the scalability and the volume that's going to be necessary to create a high-performing outbound campaign. Because if you are humming, you're getting a 5% response rate. And even a smaller percentage of those are agreeing to appointment. So this is a high-volume game. Does that make sense, Matthew?
Yeah. My big question is, what's your number?
The dreaded cold call, the cold connect. It is the most difficult moment in all of sales. Seconds count. Every word you choose counts. If you're great, you get hung up on 80% of the time. And those are the best. Others get hung up on 95% of the time. It's the difference between a meeting that leads to a deal and no deals in the entire quarter. So don't miss out on this opportunity to book a meeting and convert meetings to deals. HubSpot's put together 30 sales call templates for outreach to guide you through any and all phone calls with new contacts, leads, customers, and more. You'll find scripts that cover a wide range of scenarios, from following up with unresponsive clients to upselling existing ones. Click the link in the description below and start booking meetings and scaling your business today. And you know me, I don't love scripts, but these are the best times to have them. Use this resource and start scaling today.
My big question is, what's your number?
You know me, I'm a science guy, I'm a stats guy, I'm a research guy. I abide by the research.
You're not saying 17 is your number.
It is.
Really?
I mean, it wasn't before I saw the research. I will tell you, when we first started, when I first started at HubSpot and we made our first calls. Now, first of all, we were very blessed for the first few years to have a bunch of inbound leads. But even that, when you have an inbound lead, you're still following up on, it's not like they're calling you. You're still following up. We quit after 8. And I'll be proud in the sense that was better than most. A lot of the research that I see shows that like 25% of companies quit after 1. And I would say like 90% of companies have quit after 4. So at least we were like up into the right echelon. It depends on context. Like I think if you're, I had a student ask me, okay, I'm raising money from major endowments for my venture capital firm. Should I do 17 pings? Maybe not. Like you're going to err on personalization, but I would do 10 and I would probably just spread them over a longer period of time, maybe 6 months or 12 months. There's always something to say, right? So there's this tactic around balancing scale with personalization. And so one of the techniques that you can use is when you find a company that you want to outreach to and try to book an appointment with, do all your research up front and dictate that personalization in the first email. And only do the personalization in the first sentence of the email. This is right out of Sam Nelson's playbook, okay? He's found that personalizing the second and third paragraph is not worth it. It's really just that first paragraph and first line is where the personalization occurs. The second and third paragraph should be templated. You're not going to get any more additional ROI for personalization there. When you do your first call outreach, the voicemail is the personalization. You reuse it. right? So you've already done the homework, you reuse it. So you put that aside for a couple days and then it resurfaces up, you're gonna make another attempt. When you make your next attempt, you're just gonna reply to your original email. You're just gonna say, any thoughts? Did you miss this? Just bumping this back up in your inbox. That has an even, sometimes a higher performance than the first email, right? So you can see like Sam's thinking here of like, it feels like a human situation. There's no email like marketing campaigns that are replying saying any thoughts. I mean, sure, with AI, we can start program some of these things. There's no mass marketing campaign that's writing like stuff that you can only find on their LinkedIn, et cetera. So it's like Sam's done a really good job of balancing that personalization investment with the goal of scale and volume as well.
So Harvard Business School students, next time Professor Mark starts leaning into you when you're standing up after number 4, tell him producer Matt Brown told me to stand strong until 17.
This is called course leakage. It's terrible. Every class after it gets smarter and smarter, which I guess is fine. Hey, they're coming in with the knowledge. It just ruins some of the mystique that occurs in the class.
They're learning ahead. All right, what are your top 5 tips for establishing an outbound sales plan?
All right, so to summarize and to dig in here a little more, top 5 tips for this outbound campaign. First one is find that balance between scalability and personalization. So in a way, do that personalization research once upfront, incorporate it into the first line or paragraph of your opening email, and use it the rest of the way through with the voicemails, the replies, etc. The personalization doesn't matter for like the 12, 13, 14 attempt. You're gonna use templated stuff. So find that balance. All right, number 2, persistence. It was shocking, even to producer Matthew, that it was 17 attempts. It's shocking to a lot of my students at HBS as well. So persistence is key. Remember, we wanna get that appointment. We believe in our product. We're doing these prospects a service by trying to get their attention. Let's work really hard on that, okay? Number 3, be multimodal. Like use it all, voice, phone, email, social. Leave that voicemail, send the email, send the LinkedIn request or the email. You know, take advantage of all 3 mediums. It's okay if they're seeing you multiple times. It's okay if you're seeing similar messages. They're probably not remembering that. Number 4, be multi-threaded. It is rare that there's only one person at the organization that cares about your product and purchase. Oftentimes there's an end user that cares. Oftentimes there's a business unit user that cares. Oftentimes there's a financial constituency that cares. So reach out, be multi-threaded. And when you do, position your product in a way that matters to them. For end users, they care about time savings. For business unit leaders, they care about ROI. So be very aware of that messaging. And then the final one is please don't put the work on the buyer to book your Calendly link. Do not end your email with like, if you're interested, book time in my calendar around my time. Here, you're putting the work on me. Just say, when are you available, and make it happen. Hopefully those tips help. My name's Mark. If you want more of our content, I always worry about it. All right, folks, so that's it on cold outreach. I hope that is clear to you in those tips. My name's Mark. I hope you enjoyed this video. We have a ton of other great content like this. If you'd like to subscribe to our channel, just go down and click subscribe. And until next time, keep scaling your business.